Right, folks, how's it going? I think I'm live. I'm live on the YouTube, live to the world here on my channel. I hope you guys are really well. I know it's been quite a long time since I did a live question and answer session, so this is going to be the first one since before Christmas, I think. I was doing one every single week up until Christmas, and then had a bit of a break, but I am back. I am back with a bang, and I want to do them every week from now on. I think live streaming is the way to go, and yeah, hopefully you guys think so too, because it is a good way to kind of ask me anything you guys want to ask. Like, these are types of shows where I can just kind of talk and answer questions as they appear. You can basically ask me anything you want. But yeah, it's a cool format. And the thing is, I've just come home from the world premiere of Trainspotting the Second here in Edinburgh. Yeah, it was awesome. It was really, really good fun. We kind of messed up a little bit because apparently they were giving tickets away to get right to the front of the red carpet or the orange carpet because it was orange themed. So basically, instead of having the red carpet, they had the Trainspotting orange, which was which quite funny. But yeah, it was really, really cool to go there. You know, we do not have premieres here in Edinburgh very often. In fact, never. We just don't. All the film premieres in the UK happen in London, so it was pretty cool that we got to have one here in Edinburgh. All the big stars were there. We got to see Danny Boyle, obviously the legendary film director. He is such a cool guy. He has done so many big, awesome videos, movies. Obviously, 28 Days Later, which is one of the biggest ones that a lot of people will know about because of the zombies and stuff. It was really, really cool. But he is known here in Edinburgh for the first Trainspotting, which took off around the world. And 20 years later, the second one is coming out next week. And as I say, the world premiere was right here in Edinburgh tonight. And I went to the cinema where it was happening, hoping that I would get in sneakily, but it didn't quite work out like that. I'll tell you more about that in a little while. But basically, we got within an inch of most of the cast, which was really, really cool. We have some big names that act in this film, so that was awesome. Just give me a little second here. I'm gonna. So yeah, basically, Italo Vieira is asking what is it about. Yeah, so basically, today was the world premiere of Trainspotting the Second here in Edinburgh, in Scotland. Yeah, hopefully a lot of people will know about Trainspotting. It's a very famous Scottish film, and the second one is now out. If you guys give me a second, I'm just looking on my phone. I'm going to share the link for this live video with everybody on Twitter and Facebook and all that kind of stuff. And I would really appreciate if you guys do the same. Are you on Twitter? Oops, there's an advert. I don't know if you guys are on Twitter or on Facebook and all that kind of stuff, but obviously the more people watching, the better for me. So I'm just going to try and get the link and share it right now, which is a bit weird. But there we go, copy link. I'm just going to copy that and share it with my followers across the social networks. On Twitter, you guys follow me on Twitter? I tweet there quite a lot, to be honest. Give me a little second. I'll be right with you. Obviously, the Trainspotting premiere tonight, such good fun, and I met a lot of really, really cool fans there as well of the film, which was really, really cool. There were so many people enthusiastic about Trainspotting there tonight that we met. Lots of big fans. We were so close to getting one of the big giant posters as well, but unfortunately somebody snatched it out of our hands twice. Two different big posters that they used like to advertise the event, which was a bit unfortunate, but there you go. But yeah, it was really, really cool to go there. I think like Edinburgh just doesn't get many big premieres ever. Like, we just don't. So it was really, really cool to see that happening here in the city. So give me a second, I'm still trying to share this video with all my followers across social networks. I'm doing it on Twitter right now. I'm going to do it on Facebook as well, so everybody on Facebook can see me. Hold on a second. I don't know if you guys are on. I'm doing quite a lot on Facebook these days. Like, Facebook is a big platform for me. I really enjoy publishing there, so I'm just going to share the link there with everybody quickly. Publish on Facebook. Done. You guys follow me on Facebook? On my Facebook, it's my same username as on YouTube. It's basically facebook.com/ShaunVlog. So that's that shared there. Let me just get to my Facebook private homepage and all that kind of stuff as well. But basically, these Q&As, I want to do like a basically ask anything, answer anything kind of thing. Tonight, I want to do a bit of a film theme because obviously, well, the Trainspotting premiere here in Edinburgh is a big deal for the city, and it was so cool to be that close to the big actors. But yeah, it was just awesome. It was really cool to see that here in the city. Like, that's one of the things about living here in Scotland. You kind of feel left out a little bit, kind of with the international culture that goes on with movies and stuff. Like, nobody ever comes here, and also with like music as well, big bands. I mean, I know they do come, but it's not as good as in like London, where just a lot of awesome bands and movies and stuff come. So we certainly don't get any big movie premieres here. But to be honest, there was really nowhere else that the Trainspotting premiere would be other than Edinburgh, because like this is what Trainspotting. I don't know if you guys know, but Trainspotting is all about. It's all about Edinburgh and the kind of life and culture of a part of the city that it does exist, kind of in the underground. Like we have a lot of kind of problems with drugs and stuff like that. So, but it was cool to see it here. Anyway, I'm going to start looking through the comments and answering them. So hopefully you guys are seeing this pretty clearly. Right, questions. Kevin O'Hare, Shaun, do you like action sports like BMX or skateboarding? Kevin, I love action sports as in watching them. I really wish that I could be better at doing them, but unfortunately I'm not. I'm just not. One thing I really want to take up, actually, whenever I can get the chance, I want to take up longboarding. I think that would be awesome. But I love the idea of adventure sports. I just don't do them, if that makes sense. But I can see why people like them, and I'm really interested in them. Other questions. Let me see. Right. Hello, Brazil. Lots of people from Brazil saying hi. That's cool. Ronaldo saying it is very hot in Brazil right now. Yeah, so Ronaldo, it has been snowing here in Scotland quite a lot recently. Like, we have had a winter that has been a bit strange. It has been a warm winter, so the average temperature, I would say, has been about 5 degrees, which is not that cold to be honest, and it's been mostly wet and mild throughout the winter. And the annoying thing is it's been unpleasant. So usually when we have, I really like cold winters, and we don't seem to get them anymore. We seem to get these rubbish, rainy, warm winters, which stay about 5 degrees, and that's what the temperature is now. Although we did have a flurry of snow a couple of weeks ago. By the way, guys, I have got with me today a beer to keep my lips wet as we talk. Cheers. I also like this live thing is quite nerve-wracking. I don't really get nervous on camera, but doing live streaming, it makes me a little bit nervous. So hopefully that will take the edge off it. Anyway, any questions you guys want to ask, get asking. Yeah, so basically I went to the Trainspotting 2 premiere here tonight in Edinburgh in Fountain Bridge, which is a cinema complex. Not the best, and I'm really surprised they chose Fountain Bridge as the venue for the Trainspotting premiere, because it's a bit rubbish there. I would have thought maybe somewhere like the Omni Centre might have been better. But however, that's what it is. You know, they missed that. So yeah, it was there at Fountain Bridge, and we went. And before 5 p.m, they were giving out tickets for people to get on the red carpet, so they could like take selfies with all the stars and stuff. And we were there like just a few minutes after they shut the doors. They would not let anybody else in. It was too full, and there was a lot of like really high fences and stuff, so you couldn't really see over them. So luckily, we found a way to kind of sneak around the fences and into the cinema itself, to a place where there's kind of like a glass door. So we basically were at the bit where all the celebrities were passing through after they came off the red carpet. They came through into this area, basically where the ticket hall is, where you buy tickets at the cinema. They were all in there, and we were just behind a glass door. So yeah, the stars were all passing us. Like Danny Boyle, the director, he came past us. Ewan Bremner, like all the big names were there. And there was a lot of kind of Scottish celebrities there as well. which was pretty cool. We saw the one who came closest though of all, which is awesome, is Ewan McGregor. Ewan McGregor, a lot of people know that is the legendary Scottish actor who's been in all the big films. Uh, Austin asked me if I went to see Trainspotting. Unfortunately, no. I don't know how you get tickets to see a premiere with all the stars there, but all the people who were there was a lot. There was, I don't know, maybe 100 or so. They were all kind of mid-class type celebrities, footballers. There was a few politician-looking types of people there. So I guess it was kind of like invite only, to be honest. I don't know for sure, but yeah, not something I would be invited to. That's for sure. Natalia asked me, hey Natalia, she asked, do you think Trainspotting really portrays the reality of many Scottish people, not just the drugs, but the lack of perspective? Yes, I think it does. Like, I think there's definitely a class of people in Scotland who, um, the the movie is basically it portrays them, and I think that's why the movie was quite a big hit because, like, it kind of gave an airing to a side of Scotland that not many people knew about, and it does exist. I mean, I grew up when I was a kid. I grew up in a rough neighbourhood in Scotland, and there was quite a lot of drug abuse, and people when they're in that kind of situation, when they're in a neighbourhood like that, with not many great outlooks and not many great prospects for job and stuff, they start to get like a really closed mind about life and what their opportunities could be. So yeah, I think it is definitely something which has been a problem in the past in Edinburgh. Clearly now things are a bit better. However, I'm quite close to people who work with um, people who are in trouble in Edinburgh, like basically need housing and stuff like that. And you can still see there's a lot of kind of drug abuse in the city, even today. And the people, a lot of people are in a desperate situation. They get helped out by the government, of course. Like the government provides housing and all that kind of stuff. But there are people in really a bad way here. So yeah. But anyway, if any of you guys have any questions about Scotland, Edinburgh, Trainspotting, let me know. Just drop the comments down below. I will answer. But yeah, Trainspotting is a kind of portrayal of a side of Edinburgh, a side of Scotland that not many people know about. The first movie is when the cast were obviously all quite young and getting into drugs and getting into trouble. And the second one, I've not seen the second film yet. I should make that clear. But basically, I think it is an update on where the guys have been over 20 years and how their life have developed. And I can imagine it's the story of how their lives actually haven't progressed very much from being addicts, because people who suffer from drug addiction, obviously they kind of get stuck in that for a long period of time. But yeah, I think it does. I think it portrays Scotland pretty accurately on the kind of underground side of it. Like we do have a problem with drugs in Scotland. We always have. The 80s and 90s were probably when it was worse. As the economy got better, you could argue things got better, but it still exists. And yeah, we have that problem, and the government does help out nowadays quite a lot with people. Uh, yeah, here's a question from Temi Chan asking, were you scared in your first time in Brazil? A lot of people get a little worried. I want to know about you. The first time I went to Brazil, I went with a total open mind, and I had no idea about what to expect in Brazil, Temi. I had no idea. So I went there with an open mind, and I wasn't really scared. I might have been scared kind of just before I left, but as soon as I arrived, like that fear just left me, and I realized, I was just in a different place from home, and I actually loved it. I had a great time. I met a lot of really, really cool people, and yeah, it was great. I loved it, and I wasn't scared at all. I think as time progressed in my kind of Brazil experience, as I spent more time there, I kind of learned that, it can be dangerous at times. So I guess as time went on in my experience of Brazil, I became more cautious. I wasn't necessarily scared, but for example, nowadays when I'm there, when I leave home and go to the beach, for example, I'm quite cautious about things. Like I always pay attention to who's around me and that kind of thing. So I wouldn't say it's necessarily a fear in general, but it's just apprehension and being very cautious about things in Brazil. But I'm definitely not scared. Like I've lived there for quite a long time, and it's great. I absolutely love it. But yeah, this show is a kind of ideal opportunity to kind of ask any kind of questions you have about my life, my YouTube channel, here in Edinburgh and Scotland, which is a good theme for tonight since we're doing the train spotting stuff. Obviously, I cannot wait for that film to come out. Actually, it's going to hit the cinemas here in Edinburgh next Friday, the 27th of January, and I will be going to see it for sure. Like, such a big movie for the city, and I cannot wait to see it. So, yeah, next week I'll go and check it out. I'm not sure when it's coming out in other places in the world. Like, hopefully it'll be about the same time, so everybody will get to see it. But I'm not sure. I'm sure we'll find out. Yeah, Timmy's mentioning about the talking about Brazil again, and it is true. You cannot be scared when you go to a new country. You have to be open-minded. You have to be alert and cautious, but not scared. Otherwise, you're just going to ruin your trip there. And there's nothing to be scared of. Like, I had such a great experience when I was in Brazil. I loved it. Like, we had such a really great time. So yeah, I don't have any fear of it. It's just being cautious. That's it. And you could apply that for any. You can apply that to any country you go around the world. Like even developed countries like here, you need to be cautious when you go out because things happen. People get their wallets ripped off. People get all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it doesn't matter. Natalia says all the tickets are sold out already. Can't believe it. Hopefully that is just for the first night because I really want to see it. There must be some cinemas with tickets. Maybe in the days after the Friday when it's released. I don't know. Maybe I'm really desperate to see it though. Like such an awesome sequel it's going to be. Like the reviews have come out have been amazing, and I think the cast are great as well. Like yeah, I'm probably a bit biased because it's just cool to see Scottish accents on the big screen, but yeah, it's cool. I want to see it as soon as possible. If I can't see it in the first night because it's sold out, then I'll see it as soon as possible. Maybe in the week after or something. But hopefully I'll see it in the first weekend at least. Caleb Oliveira asked me, "Am I from Curitiba?" No, I'm not from Curitiba. I'm from Scotland here in Edinburgh. But I have been to Curitiba many times. Curitiba is a cool city. I really like it. I was in Curitiba last year in March, I think. I can't remember exactly. Around about March, I was in Curitiba. And I've also been there 3 or 4 other times because my sister-in-law lives in Curitiba. And it's a cool place. Yeah, it kind of reminded me a little bit of European places, I guess. We went to do all the touristic stuff. We went to the greenhouse, the botanic gardens. Excuse me, when I talk a lot on these live videos, my throat gets really dry. So I'm having to drink quite a lot. And also I've got a beer here. We also went to the Oscar Niemeyer, I don't know if that's how you say his name, Oscar Niemeyer. I don't know, you guys can correct me down below, but I went to see his museum building in Curitiba as well. He also has a lot of other cool buildings around Brazil. I went to I've seen some of his buildings in Sao Paulo and Rio as well. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, he's a great architect. But yeah, anyway, this section of the vlog, this Q&A is all about you guys. Like, I feed off your comments. Like, it's like oxygen for me. So get writing down below. Anything you want to say, anything you want to talk about, any questions you have whatsoever, just get them down below because without your questions, like, this is quite a hard show for me to present. To be honest with you guys, like, I need your feedback. I need your comments. I need your questions. Like, anything you say, I'm going to answer reactively. And yeah, just anything you want to know, put down below. I'm just going to read through some just now that have come through. Yeah, Natalia says about Glasgow. Glasgow's quite a different city here in Edinburgh. Well, that's the thing, like, people imagine here in the UK it is all, like, sweet and innocent and all quiet, but actually it's quite rough here in some places as well. Like Glasgow, for example, is a quite a rough city. Like, it's a great city. I love Glasgow, but like there's some neighbourhoods where if you're not from there, you could get yourself in bother, especially if you're wearing the wrong colour of t-shirt, for example, football related. So yeah, Glasgow's quite crazy, but the people, and most of the people there are really nice. They're just very, I think Glaswegians are very front on. Like they don't hide. They will come out and say things like, and it's not really. They might come across as quite intimidating, but they're just very forward. Like, yeah. But Glasgow's cool, but it does seem quite rough. Tammy says, "Yeah, you're from Scotland and travel more in Brazil than me." Yeah, Tammy, I travelled a little bit in Brazil. Like I went to last year, I travelled quite a lot. I went to Foz do Iguaçu, I went to Rio, I went to Sao Paulo, I went to Curitiba, obviously. I live in Vitoria, Espírito Santo. That's where I'm based in Brazil. Vitoria is a great city that I absolutely love. Like it's a great place to live. I also, for the first ever time, I went to Manaus in the Amazon, and that was amazing. Like so cool. But you know, Brazil is so huge, huge, huge place, and like there's loads of places I've never been. I want to go to I want to go to the northeast. I've never been to the northeast. I've never been to Bahia. That must be awesome. Um, yeah. Jump ship asked me, so where are you from? I am from Edinburgh, here in Edinburgh, in Scotland. This is my home city. This is where I was born. Yeah, I'm half Scottish because my mum's from Scotland. I'm half South African because my dad's from South Africa. And I actually lived in South Africa for a few years. There's a secret not many people know about. I can't remember being in South Africa, but I used to live there when I was a kid. Luigi Dalmon says, hello Shaun, I'm Brazilian from Sao Paulo. I've been to Edinburgh 2 years ago, just discovered your channel. What is the biggest difference in the life in Brazil and Edinburgh? The biggest difference is the temperature. Here is bloody freezing cold and Brazil is amazingly warm, tropical. That is the biggest shock. Like, here's the thing, right? If you ever go between Edinburgh and Brazil in January, for example, January is the coldest time of the year here in Edinburgh. And it's the hottest time of the year in Brazil. And I did it a few times. It's a shock. Like, I remember there was one time I went to Brazil in January from Edinburgh when it was freezing cold. And I arrived there and I got this thermal shock. Like, the impact of being in like minus temperatures and then hitting Brazil, it was like 35, 40 degrees. And my body couldn't take it. So for the first whole week when I arrived in Brazil, I didn't eat a thing. I got really sick because I was just like, couldn't take it. It was absolutely nuts. So yeah, I guess the temperature's different. The people are different as well, but they're also very similar. Like, I think people here are quite outgoing and friendly, and in Brazil, people are quite outgoing and friendly. Brazil is obviously another level of outgoing and friendly. But yeah, I think for me, I like to think about the similarities more than the differences. Tiago Sperandino asked me, despite Trainspotting, what other movies are you looking forward to this year? Ooh, that's a good question. I've not really been paying attention to what's coming out this year. Like, I need to keep in touch with that. I used to love going to the cinema and seeing new movies, but for the last year I've not had much time and chance to do it. So the very few movies I've actually left home and went to see cinema. This year, for example, I went to see the movie about the pilot who crashed the plane into the Hudson River in New York. What else did I see? I can't even remember. That's terrible. Like, this last year, like, I've just lost the kind of the fact of going to the cinema and seeing movies. So I can't answer that question. I don't really know what else is coming out this year. I've not been paying too much attention. But I believe they're filming an action movie in Edinburgh and Glasgow very soon. I can't remember the name, but it's been on the news recently. They're going to use Edinburgh and Glasgow as the scene of an action movie that's going to be... is it the Avengers? Is the Avengers coming out this year? You guys can tell me down in the comments. If it's the Avengers, then that is a movie that's going to be filmed in Edinburgh and Scotland this year. I'm not sure though. There's definitely something like that. Something like the Avengers. It's coming out this year. And is being filmed here. Let's see what other comments have we got. Gerald of SWAT asked me, will you be doing anything on the clan histories around the places you visit? Cool question. Actually, I've never really thought about that, but that is something I could definitely look into. Doing the clans. Now, I don't know if you guys know about clans, but clans were basically old families here in Scotland, like hundreds of years ago. If you're talking, go back to the days of William Wallace, Braveheart, all that kind of stuff. People lived in little societies, clans, and the clans used to trade with each other. They used to fight with each other. So yeah, there's a lot of kind of clan history here in Scotland, and I don't really know much about it. That's probably why I've not put it in the vlogs, but there's one place in particular that I really want to go that has a lot of clan history in Scotland. So yeah, I guess I could put more of that stuff in. One of my mates, Mike, who's left a comment, says, "Do you think you can pull off that scarf?" What's wrong with my scarf? I love my scarf. Good bit of tartan, like Scottish tartan. Just can't beat it. Let's see what other comments are coming in. Brazilian Gringa asked me, "Hi Shaun, what part of Scotland are you from? My folks are living in Applecross near Skye." Awesome. So I am from Edinburgh, which is the capital city here of Scotland. It's a small city. It's not the biggest city in Scotland. Glasgow is obviously a lot bigger, but Edinburgh has most of the history. Most of the history is here in Scotland. So yeah, it's it's kind of a cultural capital, and it is the capital. It's where the Parliament sits as well. So yeah, it's a cool place. It is a cool place to live. There's quite a lot going on here. Like, they have the Summer Festival, which is basically comedy, arts, television, movies, and all that kind of stuff for all of August. That is amazing. The lead up to Christmas and the Hogmanay Festival, which is also really, really good fun. I don't know if you guys saw, but I did a series of videos about the Hogmanay celebrations here in Edinburgh recently. So go and check that out. I really, really loved putting these videos together, and I did 3 of them, and they're on my channel. Go and check them out. Hogmanay 2016, 2017. I've done a playlist actually. If you've not seen them, go and see them, because that is one of the main cultural events here in Edinburgh every year, is the Hogmanay. Jean Carlos Wicker asked me, "Have you ever been in the south during winter in Brazil, Shaun?" I'm guessing you're talking about Brazil. Actually, there's one place I have never been at any time of year in Brazil, is the south. I would love to go to the south because everybody says it's amazing. I've got a lot of friends from the south of Brazil. I've just never managed it because it's actually quite far away from where I live in Brazil, Vitória. The south is like probably two plane rides away. But I really want to go. I really want to go to a place called Florianópolis, which everybody says is amazing. Everybody said it's very similar to Vitória, but perhaps the beaches are a bit nicer. I don't know. So that is a plan. I've never been to Brazil south. But I understand in the winter there, it's cold, like here in Scotland. The average temperature right now here is probably 4 or 5 degrees. And the south of Brazil is apparently about the same. I don't know, I've never been. Minecraftian 1411 plays, asks me, or says, "What do you think about Dunfermline?" Dunfermline is a nice wee town actually. I've been a few times. Not spent much time there, but the times I have been, I've enjoyed it. So yeah, maybe I'll go there more times and check it out. Timmy says, "I went to Bahia once. It's really cool, but here's a secret: don't go alone. It's boring." Bahia. So what I know about Bahia is it's got a lot of kind of culture related to Africa. There's a lot of food culture. There's a lot of awesome beaches. So that's the kind of reason I would like to go there. I would like to go to Bahia and check out the beaches because everybody says they're amazing. You guys can let me know if that's true or not. I've never been. The Vaping Scotsman, how you doing, man? I know you. You're a good mate of mine. We used to go fishing together. What's happening? Give a shout out to the Vaping Scotsman. Go and check out his channel down below. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Timmy Chan says, "Beer." Yes, actually, I'm drinking. What am I drinking? I'm drinking Brewdog Punk IPA, which is a beer from Aberdeenshire, Ellen, and it's good stuff. Like, one of my most recent videos, I was in a place called Ellen in Aberdeen, and we went on the tour of the Brewdog factory, the Brewdog brewery, not factory, and we learned a bit more about their processes and what they do there, and it's an awesome place. If any of you guys are in Scotland and go to the northeast of Scotland, Aberdeen, check out the Brewdog brewery. It is awesome. They make really good craft beers. So that's what I'm drinking. It's a Scottish beer, and it gets exported all around the world, including to Brazil right now, although it's quite expensive when they export it because of taxes, that kind of stuff, but check it out. Brazilian Gringa says, "What inspired you to start your YouTube channel?" Good question. Good question. So I have a couple. There's a couple of reasons why I started my YouTube channel. Uh, Firstly, I started when I went traveling. I went traveling from here in Scotland. I went to Brazil, and I was going to be in Brazil for quite a long time, away from my friends and family. And I wanted to make videos so I could show my friends and family what I was up to when I was in Brazil, for example, because it was a very very far away from my home, and I wanted to show my family what I was up to, like what life was like, what I was doing. So that's why I started to do the vlog. If you go back into my channel, to my very very first vlog, it was actually in Brazil, and it was in March 2014, and it was basically to show my friends and family back in the UK my life in Brazil. I thought the vlog was a great way to do that. Secondly, there's a second reason I wanted to start doing vlogs is I wanted to learn more about video because I've always loved the format of video and film, but I didn't really know much about putting them together, and I wanted to learn. So, like, that was a great way to learn to how to do vlogs, how to do video, was to actually start doing them more regularly. And if any of you guys are wanting to be filmmakers or wanting to have some kind of career in filmmaking and video, here's a thought. Start vlogging, because you will learn about how to make shots, you will learn about editing, you'll learn all the basics you'll need for a career in film one day. I might not show you all the technical stuff because you'll be on your own, but it's a great start. Great start into filmmaking. Do vlogs. Like, you will learn so much about like how to put stuff together, how to tell a story, all that kind of stuff. Yeah. So, what other questions have we got? Gustavo Andrade. Have you ever watched Brazilian movies? Yes, I have watched a lot of Brazilian movies. To be honest, I've watched more Brazilian series, like the soap operas, than I have watched movies. But I tend to watch... I watched the Tropa de Elite series of movies. I thought they were brilliant. They were really, really good, well put together, good actors, and also told another side of the story that you don't really hear much about. In terms of, I think Tropa de Elite was a great series at showing the world like what happens in the favelas, the deaths, the drugs, and all that has got a lot to do with the higher class, the upper classes. Like, they are so involved in that. That's what it kind of shows you. And the corruption is like embedded throughout the system, up, down, top, bottom. Like, I think that series of films was really good at showing you that. But I like Brazilian films. I think they're really good. I like as I say, I like the soap operas. You guys might laugh at this, but soap operas in Brazil are amazing. They tell such a great story. Compared to soap operas everywhere else in the world, the Brazilian ones are amazing. I'm trying to think what was the last one I watched. O Regra do Jogo. A Regra do Jogo? That was the last series of soap operas that I watched in Brazil. Pretty cool. Let's see, what other questions have I got? I've got a question from Angela. Rick from Brooklyn, NYC. Hello, NYC. What are you doing? What's happening? I really want to go to New York. First of all, Rick from Brooklyn, NYC. You were in Brazil in New Year and went to the coast of Sao Paulo, a place called Guarujá, then drove to Rio. Have you ever done that? I've never been to Guarujá. Never. In fact, I tell you a big lie. One time, actually, I was in Curitiba and we were driving back to Vitória, and on the way home, instead of taking the main route up north, we went via Guarujá on the coast of Sao Paulo and then up to Rio. But we did it at night time, so I didn't see much, unfortunately. Like, I believe the coast there is very beautiful, Rick. I've just never done it, but I would love to. Next time I'm in Brazil, I'm going to do it. Caleb Oliveira asked me, do you watch any Brazilian YouTuber? Yes, I watch a couple. One guy I watch quite a lot because he's a mate of mine and I really like him as well. From Canada. Which T2 character? Austin asked me, which T2 character would you like to take for a pint to the Port of Leith pub? Now there's a question. Like, I think they're all interesting. Austin, I personally, if I was going to go for a pint, it would probably be Spud, because I think he's the character most in need of a threat. I don't think he's threatening at all. I think the rest of them could be threatening in their own ways. The rest of them always seem to find trouble, but Spud is like a a non-threatening character, and like I think you could take him out, and he would kind of like follow your lead basically, and he would have a lot of stories to tell with his drug abuse and all that kind of stuff. Actually, but tell you what, I'd love to go to. If I went for a pint, any of them except for Begbie, I would not go for a pint for Begbie because there's a chance. Let's face it, he'll just kill you. He would have a pint too many and then stab you basically. Let's see. Lots of comments coming in. I'm trying to catch up with them all. Alan Wright says, my favourite beer is Froash, meaning heather, Scottish and brewed in Illawarra. I've never tried that one, Alan. I need to try that. Natalia says, do you think people will be disappointed when they realise T2 isn't about drugs? No, Natalia, I think people won't be disappointed because, like, it's not about drugs, but it's still, like, the evolution of the story of the people who kind of hung about with that and what they've been up to. So, although it's not about drugs, it kind of is a little bit as well. Like, it's the story of a drug addict. You know, what happens to a drug addict? Do they stay down in the depths of despair? Do they kind of move on from that? And, like, what happens to them? Do they come out better in the end or what? Like, I think it's not necessarily about drugs. There's going to be some drugs in it, absolutely. But it's the thought of what happens to a drug addict? Like 20 years down the line, do they stay in the same problems or not? So let me just catch up. A few more questions coming out. Somebody asking me to watch a comedy from Brazil that I've never seen. And I've not seen that one. Giancarlo says Florianopolis is interesting, and yes, it's cold, -5 in the coldest days in your city. Wow, -5. That is pretty cold, Jean. Like -5. That is, even in Scotland, it doesn't get -5 that often. Like, yeah, 2 or 3 times a year it gets to -5, but that's pretty cold. Gustavo says you should watch City of God. It's a great movie. I've watched City of God. Actually, I should have said before that was one of the movies I saw. It's a really great movie as well. I actually think City of God. Since we're talking about movies, I think City of God is Brazil's Trainspotting. It tells a lot about the story of the kind of underworld of drugs, drug dealing, and what it means for the kind of the poorest in society. Like, I basically think City of God is very relatable to Trainspotting in a lot of ways. But yeah, any more comments coming through, just drop them down below. I'll say this, like I said before, this kind of live format is cool, but it feeds off you guys, like what you guys thinking, what you're saying. Once I see your comments, I kind of bounce off them. Anything you want to know, let me know. Gerald Swat has said, have you ever seen Shallow Grave? Nope, never seen that. I don't even know what it's about, to be honest. By the name Shallow Grave, I'm presuming it's not a comedy. Jean Carlos asked me, I don't remember if you said, but when are you coming back to Brazil? Good question. Hopefully really soon. I've not got any definite plans yet, but obviously a lot of you guys will know my wife is from Brazil. We have a home in Brazil, but I don't know right now exactly when. But we will be going there this year. Sometime this year we'll be going, like, holiday or maybe even stay for a bit longer. Like, we're always going to Brazil. We're always staying there. I don't know exactly when, but yeah, we will be going back to Brazil very soon. Like, I'll be going back to Brazil every single year, I think, for the rest of my life. Like, it is my second home. Right, Tiago says, have people from Scotland felt betrayed by the Brexit vote? Ooh, now there's a question I don't think I should get into. But basically, put it this way, I'll give you the numbers. Basic fact, 60% of people in Scotland voted no to the European referendum. That's just a fact. 40% voted yes. So there was quite, and that was, I think it was 62% of people in Scotland voted no. So, no to, actually voted to stay in the European Union, rather. So that's just a fact, the numbers. I think you can make your own mind up from that. Like, it tells a clearer picture and story, but I don't really want to, like, I've commented on politics in this vlog before and it's never gone well because, like, a lot of you guys who watch have just got so many split opinions one way or another. So it's not a good idea for me to kind of get involved. Yeah, Shallow Grave is another Ewan McGregor flick. Well, I never knew that. Shallow Grave is a Ewan McGregor movie. So I should definitely check that out then, because, like I say, I really think Ewan McGregor's great. He's a good actor, so I'll check that out. Thanks for the tip. I appreciate that. Let's see. And actually, as well, I should say, tonight at the premiere, Ewan McGregor was about that far away from me, and I took the camera, so I vlogged the whole experience. That vlog is going to appear probably tomorrow or the day after. So, yeah, look out for that. I really, really appreciate you guys watching these vlogs as well. Like I should say, it means so much to me. Like, I really love putting them together, and I love the comments that you guys give to me in each and every vlog. That's what makes me keep going. Like, amazing comments. Brazilian Gringa says, I started my channel quite recently. Any tips and info about living and traveling to Brazil? To share tips and info about living and traveling in Brazil, do you have any tips and advice for new YouTubers? Now that's a good question. In a second. Getting a tickly throat here because I'm speaking too much. So, tips for a new YouTuber. Now, remember something. I started my channel in 2014. That's when I started vlogging. And I made videos quite regularly, probably once a week for the first year. The second year, which was 2016, I took it more seriously. 2014, 2015, I was going at it. Not many people were watching, but 2016, I took it more seriously. More and more people started to watch. And it took me 2 years, 2 whole years for anybody. Like, I feel like over the last 5 or 6 months, like, the channel has started to pick up quite a lot now and more people are watching. But it took me 2 years to get to that point. So the number one tip I can give for a new YouTuber is do not give up. You will go through years, literally years, of a very low audience. And it might take much quicker than that, but you need to be patient. So the number one tip is patience. You need to be really patient when you're doing YouTube. Like, it takes a while to build up audience. And you need to be consistent. You need to keep posting, because throughout those 2 years, I posted at least one video a week. You need to do that. Minimum one video per week you need to post. Preferably more than that. And after you post those videos, be patient. Like, the views and people will come once they see your videos and if they like you. You just need to be patient. So if you're a new YouTuber and you want to make it work, don't stop. Be patient. Keep going for like at least a year. And if you want to quit after a year because it's not working out, then like I totally understand. But you need to be patient. It's not something that's going to work overnight. That's the biggest tip I can give you. If you want any more specifics, like drop me a message and we can talk about it, because like I love talking about like social media and YouTube as well. It's like something I do for my work. So yeah, drop me a question in my inbox and I will answer you more in depth if you got any specific questions about social media. But yeah, patience. Just be patient. Right, let's have a look. Patriot says he's from Portugal. I love Portugal. I don't know if you guys have checked out my vlogs from Portugal recently, but I was there this summer and yeah, we had a great time. We went to Lisbon, we went to the Algarve, we had a car from Lisbon and drove. Like, I love Portugal. Lisbon's great. Actually, today I went to a cafe here in Edinburgh called Casa Amiga. And we bought pastel de blé. I cannot wait to eat them. Love pastéis. Gustavo is a Trainspotting is a great movie I've ever watched. Yeah, it's cool. Wait till you see the second one. I think it'll be cool. Temi says, when you bought your drone, were you scared of destroying it? Yes and no. Like, the thing is, if you're going to get a drone, you have to be prepared to fly it in places where you might lose it. For example, over rivers, over the lakes, stuff like that. If you want to get really good shots, you're going to have to fly it to places where if something goes wrong between the controller and the drone, and the connection gets lost, you're going to lose your drone, it's going to go in the water and you're going to destroy it. So that's why for my first drone, I chose the cheaper option. Like I didn't go for the most expensive one. Like you can buy a drone right now for like £2,000, $2,000. I went for like the cheapest one that I knew had a good camera, which was the Phantom 3 Standard, because I knew there was a chance that I could lose it, and I didn't want to lose it and then like cry and cry and cry because I lost it. So that's why I went for the cheaper one, just to start off with. And if like I have a good experience with that, don't lose it, I might upgrade eventually. But like I think the risk reward of buying a drone and getting scared of losing it versus getting really really good content, like really good footage, is worth the risk. And you cannot be scared to fly the things in places where you could end up losing it and damaging it, because otherwise you're not going to get the good shots. Like you have to take the drone and take it to places that are a bit dangerous to get the shots. And hopefully you guys see that in my vlogs. Like I take it to crazy places. Right, more questions. Gustavo says, do you support a football team? Yes, I support lots of football teams. Gustavo, I support quite a few. So here in Edinburgh, there's a team called Heart of Midlothian Football Club. That is my team from here in Scotland. I've always supported them since I was a little kid. I used to live next to the stadium. Actually, I did a vlog about a week ago from the drone. I went over the stadium. So that's my team from here in Edinburgh. I also support the Scottish national team, which is a painful experience because Scotland has been so bad at football for years. The national team is just an embarrassment. And it's really painful to watch, but I have to support them. In Brazil, obviously, I love Brazilian football. For me, Brazilian football is amazing. Like the national team is picking up again. It's great to see. I always supported the Brazil team, even when I was a kid. Before I knew that I was going to move to Brazil and marry a Brazilian, I supported the Brazilian football team when I was a kid. Like the players for Brazil when I was a kid, like they were my idols. Like they were so amazing. I've never seen anything like it when I was a kid. Like wow, these guys are amazing. So I've always loved Brazilian football. When I went to Brazil, when I moved to Vitoria, a lot of my best friends and family, they're all supporters of Flamengo. So I went to a lot of Flamengo game. I went to one Flamengo game, and I've always watched their games on TV. So you could say I'm a Flamengo fan in Brazil as well. Flamengo, the club from Rio, for if anybody doesn't know. But I like to watch league football in Brazil in general. Like I think it's interesting. I think the league football in Brazil is interesting because there's moments of genius and moments of absolute hilarity in each game. Like moments of really ridiculous, especially from the defenders, really really bad play, and also moments of absolute genius, all in the same game. So it's interesting. Like you never know what's going to happen. It's very rare that you get a boring game in Brazil. That's why I think Brazilian football is cool. So there's the answer, Gustavo. I got quite a few teams that I support. So Jarl Swat, we're talking about YouTube growth again. Yeah, that's it. You need to give it time. YouTube is all about patience. You're absolutely right. So Rafael asked me, what happens between Scotland and the rest of the UK? For me, it sounds like the majority of the people want to separate Scotland. What is your opinion? Oh, that's like a really dangerous political question right now. It's a really divisive question. I think the thing is, like, people in Scotland totally voted to stay in the European Union while the rest of the UK voted to leave. But the question of whether Scotland should be independent or not is like too divisive. Like, I wouldn't like to judge. I wouldn't like to say one way or another what would happen if there was a vote again. I don't know. No idea. I have no Scooby-Doo. Paulo Pereira says, hello from Blumenau in the south of Brazil. I've never been to Blumenau, but I would like to go. I don't know if I'm saying that properly. Blumenau. How do you say Blumenau? Probably not like that. I've never been there, but everybody says it's beautiful. Actually, you guys make a lot of beer in Blumenau, right? I would like to go and try it. John Mills says Scotland football team has been bad for a long time. What was the last really good Scottish player you remember? Really good Scottish player. I think Darren Fletcher was a great player. Obviously, he was top of his game at Manchester United for a very long time. And anybody who is judged by Sir Alex Ferguson, the old Manchester United manager, has been worthy of being in the Manchester United team under Alex Ferguson for a long time, in my book, is a top player. Fletcher played for Man United through all the best years, won a lot of big trophies and medals with Manchester United under Alex Ferguson. He was a top class player at one point. Playing at the biggest, best league in the world for a long time at Man United. It was just unfortunate. Even a player like with his abilities could not make a dent in the Scotland team. I guess the thing about Darren Fletcher is he wasn't like the most brilliant attacking player, so he was a very level-headed defensive midfielder, and I think what Scotland was always missing is somebody with real attacking flair. So he was a great player, Darren Fletcher, but he was like defensive midfield, nothing. He was never had any flair about him. He was organised, and he was solid. But when you look at Wales, for example, with Gareth Bale, and they've got a genius, an equal. In fact, you could say a much better player, but he's better because he's an attacker and he scores a lot of goals and he makes goals. So yeah, that's probably the last best good Scottish player that I can remember. Ronaldo says, I watched you spoke in Portuguese, it was amazing. Thank you very much, Ronaldo. I am very, very self-conscious about my Portuguese. I'm very nervous when I speak Portuguese. I think I say everything wrong. Like, I get very nervous when I speak in Portuguese. But I want to speak more. I want to do lessons again. That is a big thing. So, yeah. I can't actually speak Portuguese. Like, here's the truth. If I go out to a bar, for example, I speak Portuguese with all my friends in Brazil, but I guess I just get really self-conscious. And I speak more when I'm at a bar drinking beer, for example. So, yeah, I can speak. I just get nervous. Gustav says your favourite football team is Sao Paulo FC, but Flamengo is nice too. That's cool. I've never seen Sao Paulo play. I've been in Sao Paulo, the city. I went to see a game between Corinthians and Corinthians from the UK. So that was quite crazy. In the new Olympic Stadium. Was it Olympic? Not the Olympic Stadium. In the World Cup Stadium in Sao Paulo. It was a terrible game, but there you go. Somebody says, in Blumenau, one of the good beers is Capivara. Never tried it, but I would like to try it. Must be cool. Somebody says, yes, absolutely. Blumenau is the capital for beer in Brazil. Like I said, I've never been, but I would really like to go to. Blumenau. It must be nice, and I know it's close to Curitiba. So the next time I go to Curitiba, maybe I can go there as well. Super Dragon 666 says, hi Shaun, are you a fan of single malt whiskey and do you miss it when you're here in Brazil? We have a few ones but not great. Yeah, actually I do like whiskey. I drink now and again. I drink whiskey, but I don't drink a lot of it, so very slowly, and I enjoy it. Obviously whiskey being from here in Scotland is the famous drink that we have. So yeah, when I was in Brazil, kind of missed it, but every time I go to Brazil, I take some whiskey for my friends and family. They all appreciate that. And yeah, I've tried the look. Actually, I made a vlog on my channel. Go and look for it. I made a vlog about drinking Brazilian whiskey, Old H, and Mark 1, I think was the name of it. Those two whiskies I tried in Brazil, Brazilian whiskies, and I did a vlog about it. Go and check it out. It was really funny. I drank it, the Old H, and it nearly burned my whole throat in flames. It was like crazy stuff. It was like drinking fuel from the car or something, I don't know. But it wasn't good. But yeah, one thing I find really crazy in Brazil, a lot of people drink Johnny Walker. Johnny Walker is a Scottish whiskey, which is really bad. Like, it's one of the worst ones. But Johnny Walker has a very powerful marketing team, a very powerful international global marketing team. So, like, most of the whiskey that Johnny Walker makes is sold in other countries, not in Scotland. And it's not a good one. Like, if you can avoid Johnny Walker, just avoid it. Jack Cuthill says, Jack Cuthill is another YouTuber. Go and check him out. He is in the comments right now, down below, and he lives really close to me here in Edinburgh. Go and check out Jack's channel. Jack said, should I buy a drone? Jack, you should definitely buy a drone. Like I was saying to a friend the other day when I was out filming, we were filming a vlog. Like on the drone, you can get shots that no one else has ever got before because you've just got a different perspective. And if you think about it, if you go to any city or any location where people take a lot of photos, and you put a drone from that place where everybody takes the photos and send it up, excuse me, like 20 meters in the sky, that's already a position that very, very few others have got that angle. So if you're into photography, if you're into doing videos and photos, like, I think it is absolutely makes a lot of sense to buy a drone. If you like photos and videos nowadays, it is such a great tool because you will get perspectives that nobody else has ever had, has ever got before. Like here in Edinburgh, it's very rare for people to have flying the drone around and taking photos, like I've been taking on my channel, for example. And it's just because drone technology is new. But I think in the years to come, a lot of people will be buying drones, flying drones, taking them and using them for photos and video and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, definitely, I would definitely say a drone is a really, really good investment right now. If you're into photos and video and you want to do something with photo and video, whether that's on the vlog or whether that's like something else, if you're into photo and video, buy a drone. It's a great investment. And I tell you what, it could be a good investment for other things as well. I think drone technology is going to take off to such an extent that we will be doing deliveries on drones one day. I know we have been discussing Amazon and whether they're going to deliver stuff on drones, but I think it's true. It will come. And companies are going to need people who can fly drones. So it could be like an investment in future. You could also start a drone photography video service as well. Something I've thought about. But that's one thing you need to bear in mind. There's a great market for that. Like if you do video and photo on drones, like there's a big market, but you need to do that kind of stuff, to actually sell your footage, you need to have a license from the FAA in this country, in the UK. And to get the license, you need to do a course. Even if you can already fly a drone, you need to do a course to get the certificate. But I think that is an investment that would be worth it as well, because so many people are after content from drone stuff right now. I'm thinking of doing it, but it's a wee bit expensive. But anyway, like, it's such a great investment. If you have the opportunity to get a drone, do it. Guys, a couple more minutes left, I think. Any more comments, questions? Demi Jan says we were in train spotting and now soccer. Yeah, that's what the live videos are cool for. Like, start on one subject and like we just go down any route. Like, what do you want to know? What do you want to talk about? That's why it's cool. I love it. We can talk about anything. There's no right or wrong. And like, the more that I get cool comments, the more that I can react and like just talk about whatever. Patria Quack Nation. There's a really good comment, a really good question. He said, "What is the most difficult word that you can say in Portuguese?" There's a few words in Portuguese that are really, really difficult, and I'm going to say them here in the vlog right now for your entertainment, to make you laugh. But one of the words that I find really difficult, I think everybody finds difficult to say, is paralelepípedo. I can say it now, but for the longest time I could not say paralelepípedo. But there's another word that all my friends used to make fun of me so much, like all the time in Brazil, because I could not say this word. And I practiced and practiced, and I just could not say it. I kept saying it wrong. I kept saying it really badly. But let me just explain for people who are not from Brazil. There is a fruit, and it's a berry, like a red berry from a tree. It's a bit like a cherry, I guess. Or maybe not like a cherry. I don't know. It's specific to Brazil. You don't really find them anywhere else. And the Portuguese word for it is jabuticaba. See, it took me 2 attempts to say it. That is the hardest word I've ever tried to say in Portuguese in Brazil. Jabuticaba. Jabuticaba. And now I can say it, but sometimes I get it wrong even now, but it took me like years to say jabuticaba. I don't know why. Like, just something that I just couldn't say. I could not say for the life of me. It was really, really hard. But I can say it now. I'm thinking of making t-shirts saying jabuticaba. Just for a laugh. Because like, it was just a word that I could not say. Yeah. There's lots of words in Portuguese that are quite tough. Really, really tough. But you know what? It's worth it because it's cool to learn new languages, and it's really, really cool to kind of speak Portuguese. I love Portuguese. Jamal says, are you a dual citizen now? Yes, I am a dual citizen. Obviously I've got the British passport because I'm from the UK. I have residency in Brazil. I have a residence card. Oh, what I have actually is I have got a card like for foreigners in Brazil. So if I go to Brazil, I've got this ID card, and it basically entitles me to anything in Brazil, like the same full residency rights as any Brazilian. So I can work in Brazil, for example. Yeah. Lorna Power says, hey from Loch Gilphead. Hey Loch Gilphead, I absolutely love it there. Lorna, you are very blessed to live in such a beautiful part of the world. Like, Loch Gilphead itself is really beautiful, but obviously around there, within half an hour drive of where you are, there's so many nice places. Like, you're so lucky, Lorna. I love it there. I try to go to that part of the world as much as I can, even though it's quite far away. It's just absolutely stunning. The west coast of Scotland is just amazing. Yeah, really, really cool that you're here, and thank you very much for watching from Loch Gilphead. David Wardaw. Now, David is a friend of mine who's just commented down below. I used to go fishing with David. Go and check his channel out, hit the subscribe button. Thank you for popping by, David. Good to see you. Ronaldo's talking about jabuticaba. Yeah, jabuticaba is a really, really hard word in Portuguese. And it's for people not from Brazil, jabuticaba is a fruit. And it's really... look in the comments and see how you spell that word and see how you would say it. If you're not from Brazil, if you're from somewhere else, look at that word. It's difficult. Jabuticaba. Such a hard word to say. People made so much fun of me because I just could not say it. But anyway, I'll tell you guys about the content I've been working on recently. There's a couple of vlogs coming out. The other day I did a collaboration video with a couple of YouTubers from here in Edinburgh. One of them was Gavin Bell, who's a really, really good friend of mine from here in Edinburgh. He's another vlogger. Go and check him out. I also met a girl from, a lot of you guys will already know her. She's great. She makes awesome videos. The wee Scottish lass. I met her and did a vlog as well. So they'll be coming out over the next while from here in Edinburgh. And obviously today I went to the premiere of Trainspotting and did a little vlog about it. It's not great because I didn't get on the red carpet, but yeah, it will come out, and hopefully it's a little bit funny. You'll get to see. Ewan McGregor was there. He was right next to me. And I got the reaction of all the people in the crowd as well. So yeah. Patrick says, there's a word in Portuguese even more difficult. Can you try and say it? Oh, there is a really difficult word from Patrick down in the comments in Portuguese. I don't think I can say that. It's really long. Otorin. Well, let me try it. I need to break this word down, right? I'll break it down into smaller little bits. Oto in olarinologista. No way. No way, man. That is a difficult word. I can't say that. I can't even try and say that. Even when I break that down into little parts, I can't say it. But yeah, thank you so much, guys, for watching all my videos. I really appreciate it. I love the comments you leave. It really, I really love it that you guys come and watch and send comments. That's what keeps me going as a vlogger, is your comments. Like, I would not be doing it if you guys didn't come here and watch and make the comments you make. It really means so much to me, hand on heart. Yeah, keep watching. Share the videos with your friends. Get them to subscribe. I'd really appreciate that. If you're ever in Edinburgh, if you're here in my city, or if I'm in your city in Brazil, get in touch and we can meet up and we can talk about travel in Brazil and Edinburgh and Scotland, whatever we want to talk about. We can talk about, we can do meetups and stuff. Go and follow me on my other social medias as well. Like, I'm doing a lot on Instagram these days. I love Instagram. It's a really cool social network as well. I post a lot of photos and stuff there, and my username is Shaun Vlog, exactly the same as on YouTube. Also on Facebook, facebook.com/Shaun Vlog. I do a lot on Facebook as well. Go and follow me there and keep up the conversation. Like, I have been slow the last few days or a week or so. I've not been answering the comments down below, and I will answer all of them. I've seen all of them. I've just not had the time over the last few days to answer them all, but I will answer them. I promise. So every comment you put down below, I will answer. I'll do my very best to answer them. And I apologize that I've been slow the last few days, but I'll get to it. I've just been so busy. But anyway, that was tonight's vlog. live question and answer, Ask Shaun. Hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for participating. As I say, keep watching my vlogs. There's more coming out this week. Hit the subscribe button if you've not already. Share it with your friends, all that kind of stuff. Really cool to speak to you guys. I'm going to end the vlog there tonight. Any more questions you have down below, I will answer them on the text. I will reply. But yeah, thanks so much. I hope you have a good night. Let's speak again soon, really, really soon. Keep in touch. As I say, I love talking to you guys and I love answering your questions. So, yeah, have a good night, guys. Speak soon.